Okay, the time is now. I was just looking. I think it's 9:47. This is page 13. I haven't done much. I added a little bit more tones and everything. This is 13 is what I said. Did I say 14? This is 13. I'm going to leave this panel kind of minimal and really start working on this panel, which is the knighting scene. In a perfect world, I think I would have liked to have made this like a bigger page. Um, but the demands of the story are not really calling for it. I think that they want it to go swiftly by. And then I've got, this is page 13. I want to go to 18 or 19, as I've mentioned a couple of times before. Hang on, let me reduce the opacity a little bit more. How about that? So this is the end of the chapter, and then it's going to go into the next chapter. Although this one, the way I've got it set up is I don't really have chapter breaks. I'm going to have her eyes closed. I'm using the micronib for just this moment, and for other scenes, I've shown Princess Illuminara as being a bit disheveled, or hair going in all directions, but I want to show her a bit more dignified for this one scene where she's going to knight Scimitar as her defender. Now I think I've kind of screwed up in that the dialogue needs to be changed. When he says it's against his law, she answers merely, "I'm a princess." What she's implying is that she can change the law. And she can. Alright, I think we're good. We're good to go. Hello. She's still just wearing her bathing suit, though. Okay, alright. And then her bathing suit has these side panels. Let me just fix her arm a little bit. Okay, there we go. These side panels that were kind of like on her waist area. And I want to actually go a little bit thinner even. I mean, they're in the right place. But I don't want people to think that that's a contour line of her body. What I think I might do is I'll use tones to actually color the whole bathing suit so that, panels or not, we understand that that's one form. A lot of times it's a matter of, I won't say tricking the viewer's eye, but leading the viewer's eye to showing them what you want them to see. Okay. To do these lines, because this is such a small figure, I've switched to the micronib, which is this one, micronib. That's a bit thinner. It still reads pretty well. This is the actual size print size. Oh, you can't really see it, can you? This is the print size, right about here. This might not be obvious. Now let's see if I can do her feet. She's barefoot right now. It leaves me the conundrum of what do I show for the next few pages. I only have one real sequence left in the story, and what it's going to be is she alludes to it here on her last line. We're going to need better communications, gear, weaponry, and a working spaceship, right? So they're going to be on an overland journey to the nearest colony. On the planet. And I don't have a specific idea of how it's going to turn out, but I do know a couple of things. First of all, I want to introduce Oryx, who is a native of this planet. And I also want to show like a funny scene of Scimitar having to carry too much stuff. So he's like just carrying a ton of stuff on his back, which I think will be funny. All right, how about that? I'm going to change it to I'm still a princess. I can change those rules. Okay, this I kneel down and turn adapt to learn on. There we go. All right. Where are we at? All right, we're starting in on the Scimitar figure. So you can see why I had to make them so small is because I've got all this text in here. Plenty of text. Oof. Let's bring it back to Inky. I'm thinking of going to the movies. There's an anime movie called The First Slam Dunk, which is a Japanese movie about basketball. Then there is also a 2:00 preview of the new Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm halfway tempted, but I don't want to. Like, I like the animation style. I love the Turtles. I don't understand why they decide to kind of change April O'Neil. It doesn't make sense to me. She was an established character. You can't just take another character and say, oh, now this is April O'Neil. She's the one now. I think that is annoying. All right, let's see if I can. All right. I am only a few pages left in my current sketchbook. My girlfriend is in Atlantic City today. I did not want to go because I do not like to gamble. And I just have a lot of stuff going on today anyways. Things have been going pretty well lately. I'm still planning out my the end of my working days. Yes, believe it or not, I'm going to be retiring soon from my employment. Well, I say soon. 2 years. You got to plan these things out, man. When I say 2 years, I really mean, well, let's see. I think it's 17 months, maybe 18 months. We're layering in some shadows here. Well, that's the most part of it right here. This comic does feel a bit Archie's-esque to me, which is cool. I love the Archies. It's my alien lollipop trees. You have a lot of choices when you're drawing your comic, you know, and for how you want to draw it and so on. Don't worry about too much about this being hidden behind the speech bubble. The speech bubble will just cover it up. This is a texture. And here's another texture. Oops. I'll put some vegetation here. And decide where the light is coming. I think the light should come down. I'm going to put it in the pencil layer. What if we put the light down this way? This would be like the classic scene, you know, of a important moment, and we could somehow bring the light this way. That would be cast shadows. This way. this way. Something like that. This would also, let me erase a little bit of the pencil here. It would put her face in shadow somewhat. You know? And I'm just thinking, this is just thinking out loud. Yeah, we could put her in shadow here. And even this in shadow a bit. Back here. And this could all be done with tones. So just thinking about that makes me want to do it. All right, let's give it a shot. It's going to go. And I could still put a tree line, horizon line type deal in the back there, which we may yet do. But let's throw it down to, let's go right to the 30%, or even the 50% tones. We're in the tones layer. If this doesn't work, we can just take it right back out, because it's going to be really dark. And these tones are pretty thick. So this may be a step too far. Another option I have is I could do non-opaque tones, right? So in other words, I do the tones layer, but I do it as a separate tones layer. And only this time, I make the tones a bit gray. So how does it look with the pencil being gone? I think that's too harsh, right? So that's okay, we can fix that. Let's try it with a 10%, but on its own tone layer. So we're going to call it tones 2. And we're going to go in with 10% this time. Bring back my pencil layer. And the real problem is, the black line here does interfere with the other black lines. Everything's black lines, so what were you expecting, right? That's the problem. But we could take this layer and drop the opacity down, so it's much more subtle. Now you may be wondering, well, why not just put in a gray layer? You were already doing it. And the reason is because the rest of the comic doesn't have that, so we don't want it to look suddenly different, and you could say, well, that looks suddenly different. It doesn't look that different. It looks okay. Let's get back into tones, regular tones, and right back into 10%. And not only that, let's just try this. I'm going to go to 30% here. Let's go on my... First I'll try it on tones. We might try it on tones too. Okay. Pencil layers off. I don't know what to think yet because I want to do the bubbles first, but I'm kind of liking the effect so far. I don't like this up here. Okay, let's fix that. We're down here. And I haven't done the drop shadows down here, which we can still do those, but we'll do those on the other layer. Okay. Then we're going to do a straight line eraser all the way there. Do a straight line eraser here. All right. Let's fix those bubbles and see what happens. A lot of times, comics be like this. You don't know how it's going to look until you try it out. And some things you're going to like immediately, and then you're going to go back a couple of weeks later and go, you know what, I don't like it as much now. That didn't work. But, sometimes you don't know. I think this was tones 2. I'm wrong, it's tones 1. Alright, let's give it a shot. Get back to bubbles. Okay. Okay. You might be wondering why I took that back out. It's because I want to have his speech bubble is an interruption. So it has to slightly overlay the previous speech bubble. I was going to use this line here, but I don't know if I have to. I mean, it's getting close, but it's not a complete tangent. Let's go ahead and do the tail. Yeah, it still broke, but I can see where it broke mostly is this corner right here. So let's fix that. Let's give it a shot. Okay, that looks pretty good. And how about this? That looks pretty good, except that looks kind of sucky right there. But that's okay. We can fix that. Let's use white. And we'll just fill it in. All right. That looks pretty good. There's a little bit of a problem right there. I think that's tones 1. What are we, 50%? Let's go to tones 2 to do the shadows. Okay. I still want to do these drop shadows. Hang on. 10%. And we're just going to do them. I better not be in the wrong. I'm in the right layer. And you can see that they're not much darker than the pencil layer. But unlike the pencil layer, we're actually going to leave them in. All right, let's take the pencil layer back out. And that's good. Now, simplicity, as always, is key. Let's use the micro nib here. So let's, what is that? Okay, there we go. All right. I could put a drop shadow back here, but I don't know if we need to. I think it's fine without it. I'm more concerned with the texture down below. And this is looking a little bit more balanced. I'm liking it. Okay. What do you think? Are we good? Are we good to go? Oh, I did. My idea for painting in the, where am I at? For painting in the bathing suit. Tones or tones 2? Tones 2. Never was realized. Let's fix that a little bit. All right, that seems to work. Okay, so what now? Final panel. Page 13. Lucky page 13. Oh, I'm right at 30 minutes anyway. So, tell you what. I will save this. We'll probably take care of this on Drive-In Saturday. Please tune in for Drive-In Saturday tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what that is in other time zones. Science has not yet come up with a way. Not a lot of people know this. Science has not yet come up with a way to tell what time it is on one part of the Earth in another part of the Earth. It's probably because the Earth is flat. That's what I was thinking. Anyhow, talk to you later.